I'll be honest with you, listener, it's been quite a day here. We spent 40 minutes running down all of our predictions for the year, as we said we would last week, and then all of our hardware decided to not be very nice to us. So this week, you're getting a totally different episode. Hello, Lewis. I'd ask
Hello.
how are you, but I've known for 40 minutes.
Hello again.
How are you?
It's all right. Doing okay. It's downgraded, It's most weeks I'm happy, I'm good. This week I'm okay.
When I asked you that the first time, you were like, "I played a lot this week," and now we're like, God damn it." So, instead of doing predictions this week because we have to fix a technical issue, we're going to go for a slightly shorter episode, but still a shorter episode with the both of us. This week, we're going to talk about the things we are the most excited for in 2019, whether they be upcoming games or big reveals or stuff we expect to happen. But they're not full predictions. Our 29 predictions will be next week. So, Lewis, some of your biggest stuff's actually out this month.
Yes, that's right. So two games that have been long anticipated. One of which was known about that was going to happen, and one of which that wasn't exactly expected, but has been rumored since forever. The Resident Evil remake, the Resident Evil 2 remake, RE2 make. That thing has been similar to the way that something like I don't know if you know this, but Final Fantasy VII was revealed on the PS3 originally as like a show off of like what hardware it had. And Resident Evil 2 has been very much in that same vein of something that's been anticipated forever. Like the remake of it. So I'm so hyped for it. It comes out very soon. And I played a little bit of this one-shot 30-minute demo that it has. And it is fantastic looking and scary, and I'm so hyped, honestly. And then we also have Kingdom Hearts 3 coming out just a few days after. And that's another game, as I say, that's been long anticipated. And I'm really interested to see what that's like as well. Especially just to kind of... It'd be my first Kingdom Hearts game, actually. And I don't know, I'm just really hyped for January, to be honest with you.
It's weird to see January so full. I can't remember the last time that two fairly major and fairly kind of heavily weighted games came out in the first month of the year. We usually get a couple in February and March, and March has been that kind of time period's been becoming the new summer, especially over the last couple of years with like Horizon Zero Dawn releasing to much acclaim, God of War in April, this year with Crackdown and stuff. But yeah, January's really stacked. I saw some of the stuff from the Resident Evil 2 make recently, and there's that clip that's doing the rounds at the minute of the person who shoots the zombie and it tears in half, and then it starts dragging itself along the floor. That's pretty cool. Like, the tech at play seems really dope.
Yeah, those zombies won't die. They brought back something from the kind of original games in that you can shoot them in the head, but they don't necessarily die unless you really keep hitting them.
So you said it's quite scary.
Well, yeah, because I think the thing is that it's Resident Evil transitioned into like an action game where it was all about kill all the zombies, but originally it was like do puzzles, explore this mansion or whatever, try to not die, but you will run out of ammo and die if you try and kill everything because you do not have enough ammo to kill everything. And that's quite cool. I'm glad to see that back. Something like Resident Evil 5 or 6 was quite bad in that it was so action focused that like there was no fear in that. So yeah.
So my kind of start of the year game that I'm super excited for is not what you would expect, I think. But the thing I'm really most excited to pick up is Undertale on the Switch. I've heard so much good stuff about Undertale and have not had access to play it in an easy way. And yeah, it's one of the reasons I got a Switch.
Really?
Yeah. I've heard a lot about it. It seems like the kind of interesting, quirky indie that I like. I like a lot of the buzz that generates around it and the community that generates around it, and the idea of being able to like I've got a couple of commutes over the course of the start of the year, I've got some hospital visits and some this, that, the others. And the idea of being able to like take it away with me, I'm super in.
Okay.
So yeah, that's mine. And then it'll be followed up fairly closely by the heavy breath of anticipation that will come with finally getting my hands on Crackdown 3. Ugh, I don't know what to think about that. I'm glad it's coming out. I'm glad we get to see it this year. I am more sold than ever by the footage, but I'm still wary.
Okay.
Suffice to say, I'm glad it's coming out on Games Pass.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, because I was interested in that one. It's coming out at the same time as Far Cry New Dawn.
Yeah.
So it's 15th February. What are you picking up? Are you going to pick up Far Cry New Dawn soon? Or...
I mean, yeah, I'm picking up New Dawn. I'm super fucking in for that game.
Which one do you play first?
I don't know, because I feel like I'll know for Crackdown within a day, right? Like, if it's crap, it's not gonna be crap for the first 5 hours and then get better. Like, it's gonna be a systematic problem with that game, I imagine. So I'm tempted to say I drop £1 for a month of Game Pass, play through a chunk of it, and if it captures me, it will capture me enough to make me wait for Far Cry. But I don't know. I don't know. It is going to be a tough one.
Okay. Tell you, on February 15th, I don't know why February 15th is apparently like a focus day for these games. But we also see Metro Exodus, the new Metro game.
Yes, we do.
I'm quite excited to see what that plays like. I don't think there's been a... What's that?
Have you played all the other ones?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
I would say that they're not... I don't know. They're not games that you would expect to do great, and they're not games that, pull huge crowds, but they're quite good at delivering the niche kind of experience thereafter, especially the last Metro game. So I am actually quite excited in Metro Exodus. I think it depends as well. Like they've always been very much PC console shooter games. Sorry, PC shooter games, and then kind of console. And I'm a little bit worried about that. Like if they change that up, because I still kind of miss something like Far Cry 2. Which was kind of the last Far Cry that was a PC game first.
Mm-hmm.
And there isn't many kind of PC focused shooters anymore.
Mm-hmm.
At least, there's not many that are made in that way. Metro was, and it plays that way. So I'm hoping that this one is too. So I'm looking forward to that.
So then, looking past the kind of first quarter, what's your big kind of behemoth of a game that's looming over the year? I think it's probably the same thing for both of us.
Go on.
I mean, I think it's Cyberpunk.
Okay.
Because I'm pretty sure that game's coming out this year.
Yeah. There's some high anticipation for that game to come out this year.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of kind of rumors surfacing about it. And considering, in fairness, the state that we saw it in, looked pretty playable to me.
Yeah.
And to show such a huge chunk, it's not so likely to be a vertical slice. I'm not too sure, but I think that's something I'm super hyped for. I think that's the truth is I don't think there's much this year that can come close to if Cyberpunk delivers on what it wants to deliver properly. I don't think there's anything really this year that could come anywhere near it. I'm so hyped for that game. Oh my god. But yeah, I'm not sure when we see it exactly.
I'm in a kind of conflicted place because Cyberpunk, I do really feel like it comes out this year, but it was, up until this week, my second most excited thing about in terms of games. I was certain, and I'm still pretty certain, that we see Borderlands 3 this year. There is so much pointing towards it. If you follow any of the YouTube channels that deal with kind of Borderlands and where it is, that shit is nearly ready to go. Like, the stuff that's got leaked about it. Like, I can tell you the character classes, the names of the characters, some of the story, where it's set, some of the locations. I can tell you some of the skill trees, this, that, the other. It's so close. But this week has not been good for news, and Randy Pitchford and Gearbox as a developer looks like a much more unhealthy workplace after this week. Not to cast any aspersions on that lawsuit, I have no idea what's going on there, and it deals with some heavy shit, so making a suggestion about it and any kind of link to Borderlands is the most frivolous way to look at that whole thing. But I do feel like it might throw that into a much bigger shrug than it was before, because we've only ever been sort of hinted that Borderlands 3 was officially talked about or officially known about. We know the game's there, but it's not hard for them to pull it away. The only thing that's hard for them to do is talk about it to stakeholders and so on and so forth, and that's where we've got a lot of the official information before. So, I don't know, I was pretty set on it coming out, and I'm still pretty set on it coming out. There's way too much stuff happening there, but I think it probably looks different next week than it did last week, and that's
okay. I see what you mean. Yeah, I don't know with that one. I feel like you say that it's very likely to happen, and I feel like it's been very likely to happen for quite a while now. I think it's been fairly common on our predictions of something that's going to happen.
It's just like
it's like mountains piling up, and it's like
it's
next year you're going to be like, it's definitely this year. The mountain's so big.
It's not even funny how much of that game is known about, and like, I don't mean like known about in terms of, oh, my dad works at Nintendo and he said this, but like, there is literal artifacts of the game that you can find online right now. Like, it's not hard at all to go searching and find out a lot of the character classes, a lot of their artwork, their models, their this, that, the other. It's not even funny how much of the game has leaked. And like, the amount of the game that's leaked shows me what I would say to be something similar to how we saw Cyberpunk. Except that we also have like stakeholder meetings and investment calls that say something from 2K and Gearbox that's a major franchise that sold millions of copies before is revealed and coming out this year. All of the dots line up way too well, but stuff has happened every time. And I feel like this latest thing is the biggest something has happened. I don't know, maybe it's just a cursed game. We've had them before. And fuck me, a lot of them have come from Gearbox before. Aliens, Duke Nukem, maybe just don't work at that developer.
Oof.
Yeah, okay, that was a bit heavy. But like, yeah, I don't know. It's been on the verge of being revealed a couple of times now, as far as I can tell. And I really genuinely firmly believe we'll see it this year. I just would have before said we firmly see it and play it this year.
Yeah, okay. So this year confirmed a game that I never thought we'd see. It used to be so. It lies in one of the most expensive series of all time, or at least has been at one point, and that's Shenmue. We know that Shenmue 3 is coming out this year, and that's a really interesting one, and I'm really fascinated to see what happens with it, because it is obviously very niche, and obviously there was huge hype around it. It earned a lot of money from Kickstarter, I believe. So I'm really interested to see what's become of it. I don't have high hopes, to be honest with you, because I do think that maybe the vision's dated, maybe. But I am really fascinated to see what comes out of it. I think it's going to be a very interesting one, and I think it's something that could be really well received if they do it properly.
All right, Lewis, I think we should make this. We said it's a short episode, so we're going to make this our final one. What's your curveball for the year? What do you think we don't know about yet?
Oh, okay, all right. This is tough. Maybe you go.
I have two curveballs that I think are likely and also not likely. That WB Montreal Batman Court of Owls game, I think we see that. I think it's another Arkham game. I think it's probably next-gen hardware. But I think we see that. I also think we see the next game from Jonathan Blow. And I think it's probably something closer to The Witness than his previous game was to its predecessor. I think it's a much more natural step. Both I'd be hugely excited for.
Yeah, okay. See, I was so unprepared for this.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
We both were.
Okay, right. I think we see the Final Fantasy VII remake come out. We see, I think, for the first time what it actually looks like for real, because originally they showed a gameplay demo that was like a mod of the Final Fantasy 15 engine. So I think we get to see it at E3. And yeah, the game looks good. If it comes out this year, I'd be picking it up instantly. So I'm quite hyped for some day in the future that maybe will or will not come. Because it's one of those ones, isn't it? It's like originally what Shenmue was like. It's like what Kingdom Hearts 3 was like, and those games. Cyberpunk, will it come out ever? I'm not sure.
I mean, to be honest, it feels like it could be one of those years.
Mm.
You know, there's a lot of games that people didn't think we'd ever see. Shenmue, as you say, Kingdom Hearts 3, as you say, Cyberpunk, as you say, very arguably Final Fantasy, maybe even arguably Death Stranding. And then, yeah, I don't know. I do feel like this is going to be a big year.
Yeah, like a surprise year.
Yeah, I feel like this will go down as one of those, well, shit, where did that come from years?
Yeah, okay. I hope so. I'd love that.
Yeah, me too. So we'll leave it there for this week. But we hope that acts as a very nice prelude to next week's episode, which is going to be our predictions for 2019. Again, they would have been this week, but a technical issue got in the way. Sorry, we realised we're like 3 weeks into 2019 at that point, and it's a bit tenuous. But yeah, it's going to be a big year for games. So let's see if we can predict some of the big things that will happen. Until then, thank you very much for joining us. Sorry, it was a slightly short one. And we will see you next week. You can always find us in between, however, on all the socials. We are at Games Upcast on Facebook, Twitter, iTunes, YouTube, Twitch, and a brand new one, hopefully this week, that we will be telling you about very, very soon. A new way for you to listen to the podcast as we go into our next year. If you like this, feel free to like and subscribe to the show so that we get out in front of a few more people. We'd really appreciate it, and you don't miss anything. If you subscribed after the Game of the Year episode, thanks very much. Hope you're enjoying and glad to be along with us, and we will see you next week. Until then, the game is finally, fuck me, we've been doing this for an hour and a half, up.